Gonna give it another second here, make sure everything loads. All right, there we go. Good morning, everyone. This is Kristen from the Intuitive Wellness Spa, and this is Wellness Wednesday. And today we are talking about CBD. And the specific CBD that we're going to talk about is from Pure Spectrum. This is the CBD salve that we use. And what I mostly wanted to accomplish today was just basically answering some basic questions that I think most people have with regard to CBD. Is it safe? Is it helpful? Do people really see benefits from it? Is it all a scam? How do I know where I'm supposed to shop to get it? And so I just want to answer some very basic questions that I looked for as a proprietor as to what I would be using in my business. I've told you in the past that I will always share with you in full transparency whether I get anything out of promoting these products. I do not when it comes to Pure Spectrum. I don't sell this in my spa. I'm not a retailer of any kind in it. I'm not in any kind of marketing plan. I would, and I have looked into it, but I just have not as of yet. So anything that you are going to get from Pure Spectrum, I'm going to encourage you to get directly from their website. But if you have any questions, you can certainly ask me. So why did I choose Pure Spectrum? What is the deal with them? Pure Spectrum is a business that I became familiar with out of Colorado. They are in a town called Evergreen, and they cultivate and they use high quality hemp derived products. So the biggest thing from them is that they don't cut any corners. All of their products go through outside testing to verify the level of the CBD, which is the cannabidiol, I believe I'm saying that right, cannabidiol, that is actually in the product. That's what it is that you're trying to derive the benefits from. That's what research has indicated helps with inflammation and helps with pain reduction. So it's a non-addictive product. It's just the hemp, so it's not the part. There's no THC in CBD creams, salves, and tinctures. And that's important because people are concerned that, am I now using marijuana? And you aren't. The THC is not involved at all, but you want to make sure that you're having a high quality hemp concentration, CBD or cannabidiol concentration in the hemp for it to actually be effective. And I always relate this back to Kona coffee. I used to live in Hawaii, and I've actually been to Kona and seen actual Kona coffee, and it's exceptionally expensive. It's like $40, $50 for a pound of pure Kona coffee. And I imagine if you really like coffee, you really love that flavor. There's something in the way the beans are cultivated. So when you leave Hawaii, people get all excited when they can go and buy Kona coffee at some local supermarket and get it for $12, $13 a bag because they feel as though they're getting this great deal, except that they're not, because it's not pure Kona coffee. It's a Kona coffee blend, which in essence means that you've bought a bag of regular coffee beans that have about 5 Kona beans floating around within them. And so you think you're getting a great deal because Kona coffee is $40 a bag, but really you got scammed because you paid $15 for a $6 bag of coffee. So that's kind of the same concept with the CBD, is that you want to make sure that you're getting something that has a pure derivative and has a high concentration. So the salve that we use is 500 milligrams is in here. And they have that, again, outside tested for verification, which is what I really, really appreciate, because that's how it's going to be helpful for you. That's what it is that makes the reduction in inflammation and the reduction in pain. So I use the Relax lavender salve because obviously we are a spa and people want to relax and they want to have something that sort of smells spa-like, and so the lavender is great for that. And again, 500 milligrams of the cannabidiol is in there. So what I have noted is that there's a reduction in aches and pains. I haven't so much used it with inflammation that I could physically see, so I don't want to speak to that. No, I am not in any position to guarantee results, and I don't know that Pure Spectrum does either. But why I used it is, I'll tell you my story. So I have been a massage therapist for over 23 years, but I have cut back in terms of how much physical work I do after 20 something years. As you can imagine, the hands get a little sore. And so I backed off a little bit from it, and I had to get into doing it quite a bit because I had a therapist who was out on maternity leave, and I had another therapist who wasn't going to be doing as much work in our practice. And I suddenly had this surge and was doing about 18 hours of massage therapy per week. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you. And I hadn't done that level of work. And if you've never done massage therapy, or if you've ever tried to massage just your significant other, for example, you know, after about 5 minutes, your hands are tired. So imagine doing 18 hours of body work in a week, uh, at my age in particular. And on one particular day, I was sitting there and my shift hadn't even started. I hadn't done any body work yet, and my hands were just aching. Like it was like almost like they were on fire. There was so much pain in this area of my hand, all through my back, the joint back here, even actually also my feet from all the standing. I was getting pain throughout my ankles and in the balls of my feet. And I was sitting there and I had about 45 minutes before my client came in, and I realized, oh my God, I have the CBD. Why don't I try it? And so I rubbed it on my hands and I rubbed a little of it on my feet. And I just sort of sat with it for a minute. And then, of course, you know, you're hyper thinking about it. Is that working? Is it not working? And I just sort of sat with it for a minute. I wasn't sure I put enough on. So I sat again and I rubbed a little bit more. And it's not very much. I'll open it up so you can see. Um, that's all that I've used. I don't need to use very much. And there was a stretch there where I was using it probably on a weekly basis. But I rubbed it on my hands and feet. Um, and again, really just the one time. I did it twice in that one span of time, but just that one application. And then I went and I did my hours of massage. At the end of doing 5 hours of massage that day, I had no pain in my feet, and my hands were a little bit tired, but felt better than they had before I started. And so that became a testimonial for me that it worked for me. So I have used it with clients who have had pain in their joints and they have found success. I have used it with family members and they have found success. So I really believe in the healing properties of it. It is much more long lasting than I have found from taking any kind of an over the counter pill. I don't like to take pills. As I said, when at the height of my work, I still wasn't using this more than weekly. I don't mind if I need to use it more often than that. Chris, you're asking if I sell it at the spa. I don't sell it. I was looking into being a seller of it, and I will continue to look into that when we reopen. But for right now, I would go to, I'm going to give you the exact website so I make sure I say it right. It's Pure, Pure, Spectrum, Spectrum, CBD.com. And it's on where you saw that I was going to go live today. It's that their website is in the description for today. So I would recommend just going to their website. This retails for on their website this size for about I think it's $44 to pick this up. It's well worth it. It's going to last. Don't overuse it. You don't need very much. Some folks will use a tincture, which is basically, it comes like with an eyedropper and you put it under your tongue. It has rapid absorption. That's a little more along the lines of like if you took a pill, right? You would take that and it would go into your circulatory system. But again, it's a lot more, yes, Pure Spectrum CBD. That is correct, Chris. And then just .com. But the absorption when it goes under your tongue is faster. I don't use that. We cannot use that in our business. We can only use topicals. That's just a rule for massage therapists, but I do know folks who use that as well. The next question that people have is, well, is it safe? Is it addictive? I've used it when my hands hurt. It isn't a matter where then suddenly the pain comes back. It isn't that kind of situation. For me, this is a repetitive injury type of a thing, or a repetitive motion type of an injury. So I imagine there is inflammation in my joints, even though I can't see it when I've applied it. And when it goes away, let me rephrase that. When the pain goes away, it doesn't immediately resurface. It's not like I need to reapply it in 4 to 6 hours. It's generally, there have been times where I was doing a lot of massage and I was applying it, as I said, weekly. I haven't needed to use it for, now granted, I haven't been massaging in 2 months, but if we go back to when I went as much as a month before needing to use it again. So I prefer something like that that's going to help take away the pain so that the inflammation can go down and my joints can heal versus, again, just taking something orally. That's my preference. I always suggest that if you're concerned, should I do this? How does this work with my other medications? Is there a risk? Always consult your physician. I'm not your doctor, so I can't prescribe. I can only let you know what has worked for me. We do incorporate this into massage. It is something that you can add on as a treatment that we will apply. It is not something we will massage over your entire body. It is for concentrated purposes only. Additionally, people have said, well, what about drug screening? Am I going to get in trouble if I use this? Am I going to test positive for marijuana? Again, there's no THC in this product. And I stand by two things that I know for sure. The first is that I drug test all my employees. And I know for a fact because she disclosed to me that one of my employees was using the tincture. It was helping her with pain she was having in her joints so that she could sleep. She went in and gave a drug screening through the drug screening company that I utilize, and she tested negative. Additionally, part of what I love about Pure Spectrum is I am a very, very amateur athlete, but I am a member of USA Triathlon, and they are the Olympic triathlon team sponsors. I'm not in the Olympics, just to be clear about that, but I am a member of their organization, and they endorse this product. It has passed all tests for the Olympic Committee against doping. So that's one of the things that makes me feel the most comfortable about it. Um, Again, not everybody is a fan of the tincture. I don't use it personally. Again, I'm not a big fan of taking things orally. Topical, I'm comfortable with. But yes, I highly recommend the salve. So in essence, what you're looking for is something with a high concentration of the cannabidiol. You want to make sure you've done your research. You want to work with somebody who you know has done the testing and can stand behind their product. I recommend Pure Spectrum because of the results it's had for me. I recommend them because they're endorsed by USA Triathlon, so a governing body within the United States has endorsed them. I stand behind that. I do not recommend picking them up at a CBD cream up at your local drugstore or God knows where else you'll see a sign that says they offer CBD products, because I would question the quality of what's in the product and whether or not you actually were getting anything else you didn't want in that product as well. So Pure Spectrum, that's who I recommend. That's what we use. I hope to see you all back at Intuitive soon, and perhaps you'll decide to add CBD to your session. In the meantime, please stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you again next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.